Being old and alone in December is a feeling unlike any other. The world around you is filled with lights, music, and celebration, but you find yourself caught in the quiet, the silence that deepens as the days shorten. December, with its frosty air and festive cheer, seems to emphasize the distance between you and everything you once knew. The contrast of the world's vibrancy with your solitude is striking, almost painful. There's a certain isolation that comes with growing old, one that is amplified during this time of year. The nights grow longer, and so do the hours you spend in solitude. The cold seems to seep deeper into your bones, not just from the weather outside, but from the isolation within. Each passing day feels like a reminder of the time that's slipping away, of the years, the moments, and the people you've lost along the way. There's a weight to being alone during the holidays, a weight that sits heavier in December than at any other time of year. The world seems to pulse with warmth and connection, yet you are left on the outside, observing it from a distance. It's strange, the way everyone seems so busy, rushing from one gathering to another. The world is so full of noise, so full of people wrapped in their lives, in their joy, in their togetherness. Meanwhile, you're here, wondering when the last time you felt truly part of it all was. The feeling of being forgotten isn't loud. It doesn't scream for attention. It whispers in the quiet corners of the room, in the moments when the world is celebrating and you're just waiting for the day to end, hoping for something, anything, to break the silence. There's something particularly poignant about being old and alone in December. The holiday lights that twinkle outside your window remind you of the warmth and laughter of Christmases gone by. You think back to the times when the house was full, when there were faces you loved sitting around the table, voices raising in excitement, the smell of holiday meals filling the air. Now, it's just you and the fading echoes of those memories, too distant to touch and yet too close to ignore. The holidays once meant a flurry of activity, wrapping presents, decorating the tree, baking cookies, and sharing moments with friends and family. Now they often mean quiet days marked by small routines. Maybe you'll bake a small loaf of bread or brew a cup of tea. Perhaps you'll take a slow walk in the cold, watching the world bustle by as you remain a quiet observer, wishing for the warmth of company that doesn't come. Every year you tell yourself it will be different, that you'll find joy in the quiet, but each December, the weight of being alone becomes harder to bear. But December isn't all dark. It carries with it a certain kind of quiet beauty. There is peace in the solitude, in the stillness of the winter days. The silence of the morning when the frost clings to the windows and the world feels as if it has stopped for just a moment. There is a sense of slowness that allows time to breathe, to reflect. But reflection can be both a balm and a burden. In the quiet moments, you find yourself thinking back to the people who used to be here, the conversations you once had, the laughter that filled the room. And with those memories comes a painful awareness of the passage of time. The years slip by unnoticed until moments like these, when you are reminded that everything has changed. Being old and alone in December makes you aware of time, its passage, its inevitability. The years weigh on you, not just in the aches of the body, but in the knowledge that they are slipping away. There are memories of people you've lost, of days that are long gone, and you wonder if others still think of you the way you think of them. There is so much you wish you could say, so much you could have shared, but now in the silence you wonder if anyone will ever hear it. And yet, even in the loneliness, there is a quiet kind of strength. You've lived through so many Decembers, each one bringing its own challenges and moments of joy. You've learned how to be with yourself in ways younger people haven't yet had to. You know that loneliness doesn't mean being forgotten, it means enduring. It means surviving in a world that moves forward, even as you stay behind. There's a certain resilience in this solitude, a way of finding comfort in your own company, even when it's not the ideal you once imagined. There are books to read, memories to relive, quiet thoughts to ponder. Even in loneliness, there is a kind of peace, though fleeting and fragile. It's yours. In a strange way, being alone becomes familiar, something you know how to navigate, even if it's not what you would have chosen. You've learned to cherish the small things, the little rituals that bring comfort. Perhaps it's a favorite mug for tea, a blanket that feels like a hug, or the simple pleasure of watching snow fall outside. But there's also longing. You long for connection, for the touch of someone else's hand, the sound of someone else's voice. You miss the easy conversations, the laughter, the feeling of being needed. You wonder if the world still remembers you, or if you are just a shadow, flickering in the background of other people's lives. You think about what it would be like to sit with someone and share the moments of your life, the memories you've collected. You wonder if anyone else ever wonders about you, or if you've become a passing thought, forgotten in the rush of their busy lives. As the month goes on, you notice how the cold seems to intensify, both outside and inside. The house feels emptier, the nights longer. You try to fill the space with little comforts, perhaps a warm drink, a favorite chair, a familiar tune playing softly. But even with these small things, there's always a lingering feeling of something missing. You try to keep yourself busy doing puzzles, reading, watching TV, but the loneliness creeps back in, reminding you that there's no one there to share these moments with. The quiet of the house is so loud sometimes, it feels like it's pressing in on you, a constant companion that you can't escape. There are moments when you close your eyes and imagine a time when you weren't alone, when you weren't the only one left. Those memories bring warmth, but they also bring pain. The people you loved, the ones who made December feel alive with joy and laughter, are gone now. It's a reality you've grown used to, but it's one that never truly leaves. The grief never fully heals. It just becomes a part of you, woven into your days, into the fabric of who you are. You remember their voices, their faces, their laughter, and you wonder if they remember you too. It's the kind of grief that isn't loud, but always present, like an old friend that never quite lets go. In December, when everyone else is focused on togetherness, it's hard not to feel like you're standing on the outside looking in. The world offers its festive greetings and its cheerful messages of family, love, and belonging, and you can't help but wonder where your place is in all of this. You've made peace with being alone, but there's always that one part of you that wonders what it would be like to share this season with someone again. To wake up on Christmas morning and share the joy of the day with someone who cares. But that moment never comes, and you are left with your thoughts, your memories, and your quiet resolve. And yet, in this solitude, there is still the possibility of something quiet, something simple. Maybe it's the peace of sitting with a cup of tea in front of the fire, or the comfort of an old sweater that still holds the scent of years past. Maybe it's the reflection on a life that has been lived, a life that still has value, even in the quiet moments of December. It's a life that, despite everything, still carries the echoes of joy, the traces of laughter, and the memories of love. And even if you are alone, those echoes are still with you. Being old and alone in December is not a story of despair, but of survival. It's a testament to resilience, to the endurance of the human spirit, to the ability to find beauty even in the harshest of winters. It's about embracing the quiet moments, about accepting the loneliness while still holding on to the warmth of what once was, and finding ways to move forward in a world that is always changing. You may be alone, but you are not invisible. Your life, your story, is yours to carry, and it carries with it all the richness of the years you've lived. December, for all its frost and quiet, still carries a spark of light. It's not the light of grand celebrations or family gatherings, but the light of personal strength, of endurance, of quietly holding on. And in that light, no matter how small, you are never truly alone. There is warmth in the stillness, a kind of beauty in the silence. You may not have the company of others, but you have yourself, and in that, there is something worth holding on to. So, as the days grow colder and the nights grow longer, remember that solitude does not mean insignificance. Your life, your story, is yours to carry. And in the silence of December, there is still a place for you, one that is filled with the warmth of memory, the strength of survival, and the quiet beauty of being. You are not forgotten. Even in the coldest months, you remain quietly but enduring.